today we have an unexpected event, and Bruno, he just meet two of very successful developers, and he's together with them, and we want to grab this opportunity and make some interesting questions about how to the art of solving problems and how they actually became and how it actually helped them become so successful in their career. So I want to bring him. He's on the cell phone. He's on the airport. So, but he'll be with us sharing these questions. So, hey Bruno, how are you?
Hey Hugo, how you doing, man? How's everything? Hey
Hey,
everyone,
fine.
so good to be with all you here. We are here at the directly from the airport in São Paulo, the Guarulhos Airport in São Paulo International Airport. I have a good friend of mine here that came from Canada, and he's getting ready to leave back to Canada. So that's Rodrigo Motinho. Hey Rodrigo, how you doing, man?
Oh, good, man. Very, very nice to meet you, and also another guest that you present very soon. But yeah, it's super nice to be back and be speaking with you. That you helped me to reach there, so it's super good.
Right.
Pleasure.
So Rodrigo is coming from Rio de Janeiro to, and it's just for a few hours here in São Paulo. So he's flying to Canada, and so me and the Java champion Rafael Del Nero, that's here in São Paulo too. Hey Rafael, how you doing?
Hey, hello everyone. Very happy to be here. Hello Hugo. Hello Bruno, Rodrigo. I'm very glad to be here, and yeah, I'm here in Brazil on holidays.
Yes. So basically, there's those two amazing guys were both in holidays here in Brazil. So we decided to come here, how whatever we can, like for a few minutes at least, directly from the airport to go and talk to you, right? So if you have any questions, if you have any discussions here about solving problems about the developer career, just let us know right there in the chat so we can have a good conversation here, right? So uh, um, so maybe we should start with that question, right? So one of the things that I was just telling those guys here, Hugo, that every time I think of Rafael Del Nero, right, I think about consistency, right? And that's one thing that you have done so very very well, also, you, right? You guys are very consistent. You face your challenges and you work every day to solve issues. So Rafael, you even wrote on your book about the importance of being consistent, right? So can you tell us a little bit about how important is consistency and how do you do it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I wrote the book called The Challenger Developer, and there one of the principles to achieve big success as a developer is to be consistent. Because, for example, to learn a new technology, it takes time. It's not overnight that you're gonna master a whole technology. So it takes time, and I can make a very simple analogy here to be consistent. Um, Thinking about when you brush your teeth, for example. If you brush your teeth the whole day, only one day of the year, your teeth will be very dirty and you'll have no teeth, right? But if you brush your teeth, I don't know, 5 minutes after every meal, your teeth will be healthy. And the same analogy I can apply on going to the gym. If you go to the gym just one day in the year, you want to be fit. So the same way, you have to be consistent to go to the gym. So I don't know, you set some days to go. I don't know, maybe 3 days a week or 5 days a week. If you are consistent, no matter it doesn't matter if you go 3 days or 5 days, you're gonna have results. And it's pretty much the same with technology, because you study, you get experience in your job. So there are many things you can do to really get good as a software developer. And reading code um, often enough will take you to the next level as a developer. For example, what I'm doing to be a better developer, I'm writing a lot. So I'm writing articles on subjects that I don't know very well. And that helps me a lot, because when you share something, you really learn what you're sharing. And I think that's one of the best things that any developer can do, to share what you know. Because when you share what you know or what you don't know, is when you fill out the gaps. And how am I consistent? I think one of the biggest keys to be consistent is first to believe that you can do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't even try. Because if you don't believe it, there's no point. So the first thing you believe, okay, I can get there. And then you start taking action, because you see the big picture. You see, okay, in, I don't know, in a couple of years, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be doing this thing that's important to me. So when you have this mindset that, okay, I believe that I can get there, then you're going to take the action. So consistency is not only, oh, I'm going to be consistent all of the sudden. You have to first believe, okay, I can get there. That's the path. And this another thing that is so important when you have a mentor. For example, Bruno is our mentor here. And when you see a mentor who already got there, and who is with you working on your objectives, then you know, okay, I can get there as well, because he's helping me. So I think that that gives you a great boost for your career, because the vision of a mentor is just far ahead of yours. So, and you don't go in many ways. So you just focus on one thing, and then that's it. You keep doing that thing, and then you grow much faster. And so I would say that the first thing to be really consistent is to believe that you can do that. And once you believe that you can get there, then it starts, like, of course, in the beginning you have the motivation, but the motivation is just momentaneous. It won't take a long time. So you're gonna be motivated in the beginning. You're gonna do that, whatever you want, motivated. But after some time, you won't be motivated anymore. Then what takes to you to be consistent is a discipline. I can't tell you how many times I was writing my book without any motivation. I was forcing myself to write my book because I decided that I would finish my book no matter what. And I went through a very difficult situation, because I was writing this book for a famous company, famous publishing company, and they canceled the project in the middle of the process. So I was a little bit demotivated because of that, and then I had to keep writing by myself. And nowadays, well, today I already finished the book, but it was very difficult to finish it. So in the beginning, there's motivation, then there is discipline. So, and those days that you are totally demotivated, those are the most important days to do that. Because if you break the cycle, it's much more difficult to be consistent again. And it's like pushing a big rock, right? So when you push a big rock, you push with a lot of strength, right? It's very difficult. You have to push very, very hard. But once it's rolling, it's rolling. You don't have to make a lot of effort anymore.
You have momentum, right?
You have momentum. So when you push the rock, you have momentum. And with consistency is the same thing. Once you have the ball rolling, you don't have to do the same effort as you did before. So for example, when you're writing articles, for example, now I'm focusing on writing articles on subjects that I need to get deeper. And what I'm doing, I'm writing bit by bit, not so much time every day. But I don't need to do the same effort as I did in the beginning, because I'm being consistent. So I do bit by bit, and I get the ball rolling, but the big rock rolling. So it's much easier. but it doesn't mean that some days also I'm not. Um, I want to write the article or the book or whatever. Some days I have to force myself, and this is the same thing with the gym, for example. Some days I don't want to go as well, but I go anyway. So I think that's one of the biggest secrets. And of course, keep in mind the big picture. So when you're doing something, what's the result you want? What you're expecting? Do you believe that you can get there? Why you are doing that? I think that's a very important question. You ask why. And there are many reasons for writing articles. Why do you write articles? Because you want to learn subject better. Because you want to create a strong portfolio for your career. To go to the gym, there are a lot of reasons. Because you want to get healthy. Because you want to get fit. Because you want to enhance your confidence. So there are many reasons for the things that I do, and I know why I do that. And that helps. If you know why you're doing something, you're more likely to keep doing it, even when you don't want to do that. So that's my message. I hope I didn't talk a lot.
I made a huge lesson here immediately, right? So Hugo, you are also a guy that's works a lot of consistency, right? So what do you think?
Try to. Yeah, I think all the tips from Rafael, it's we can apply in our day to day, and it's very useful. One thing that I also do, it's fun that I'm consistent with one with the Saturday meeting session that is, and I'm seeing Rodrigo Moutinho there who gave birth of this idea of Saturday meeting. And one thing that one thing that is interesting to comment here is that in the beginning maybe motivation won't be enough to keep you consistent, right? Like Rafa said, you have to understand what you want, where do you want to go, why you're doing that, and then probably it will become something that you get used to, so it becomes an habit, and it will be much more easier and much more enjoyable. So the meeting it was something it is a session that we run every Saturday in the morning. In the very beginning, I never wake up so early in the morning, so it was very difficult for me. But at some point, some months later, it got something so natural for me. I move all the things around me to keep SAD meeting running, and now it's very. I feel like the rock that is start rolling. Like I got the momentum, and it is just go. So I think that's one thing that I would add. Another thing is small steps. I think if we try small steps, it is easier to getting started. I think starting is the most difficult part, or
Right.
or at least
So since you mentioned Saturday meeting, the guy that created Saturday meeting, I mean both of them, right?
yes.
So those are the two guys here that created Saturday meeting. So Rodrigo, you're a guy that's that you grew your career being very flexible, right, and solving very hard problems, right? So so we decided to talk here about solving problems. So why do you think being flexible is important to solve problems?
We can actually, well, I would like to share the credit because it was also Bruno's idea and Rafa. So we mixed some stuff there and figure out that speaking every Saturday would be a nice way to improve the English. And it was all about what you said. I think there is two more people that we started with a Skype session. It wasn't even like in a very different way, but it was super uncomfortable. But being flexible and open to learn and being there just to try out new stuff was the first step. And actually, this is a very good lesson that I'm bringing to nowadays because at that time I was working with Java. That's why I met Bruno and then Rafa as well because I was working on the Java community, and there is a lot of stuff there that you need to be very paying very good attention on the community to be updated with everything and keep on the edge of the technology. But then I switched a little bit my career to automation, and automation gave me something that not actually gave me, but forced me to be very, very flexible, because especially right now on the past company and the company that I'm working right now, that is both our game company and work on the build system, and everything on the build system is just about new stuff. So if you're not open to learn or being flexible to adapt to what you really need to that moment, solve a problem, or to just solve for the moment, because there is a game that needs to be published, so you need to solve the problem just to overcome the problem that the game team has right now, and then you look the big picture with your like your teammates, with your boss, and see okay, if this continue like this, it will be a problem, and then you're open to learn new ways to overcome that problem. And I think on the any developer career, you if you are open to learn first, you won't be resistant to new ideas. So every time that you're talking with your teammates, you're not the first one that is blocking the idea just because you're lazy or any other excuse that could be to not. I don't like this idea, but mostly just because you're not open to learn. So it's a good thing that you're open to learn. Most of the time, what I learn as well is that once you just listen, sometimes the idea even stop there, because they see, oh, it's too much or not ideal for this moment. So you're not resistant. Everyone figure out that there is a better solution, and in the end, you're not the picky one that it was. I like to be picky, but for quality, not for not open to be in new situations. And the flexibility is all about this. So I was there with Portuguese, and now trying to learn English on the Saturday meeting. Now I'm learning English. Now I'm flexible learning French there as well. And there is technology that I was working with Ansible with Bruno, and then I was working with Puppet that is different but doing the same stuff. And now I'm working with SaltStack, and it's a big
So one interesting thing that you mentioned about flexibility and the open to ideas, right? So you work for a game company, and that's the second game company for them, right? But just a few years ago, you thought it was impossible for you to work for a game company because you thought you need to develop games to work for a game company, right?
Yep.
So now you're not developing games; you're part of the process. So how did that happen?
Well, actually, everything started actually with an interview about Java, Java opportunity. So the interview started with Java, and everything was related to this. But I was always talking about automation because I like. So I was in the previous job that I was working for was Java mostly, but I was trying to automate some stuff because I was very I was not satisfied with the current stuff that I was taking like a week, and then once I automated, I was taking like a few hours. And on this, not sure. It's, okay. It's blood. So I was not satisfied, and during the interview, they started. Oh, why not? We have a position here for automation, and why not you could try this one? So that's definitely. What is the main question that you asked me?
No, because how flexibility helped you get on the game?
Oh yeah, the gaming industry, yeah, exactly. So this time I learned it actually because for me initially it was mostly Unity and Unreal, that is the big game engines, and Java was not so far from this that I thought, okay, I will be only playing games instead of doing this. And this job opportunity was the first one that I thought, okay, maybe I can join a company with Java development. So in the end, I learned that Java, C# and a lot of development developer tools there is available, because it's not just the game engine. There is a whole back end, the whole DevOps stuff, and there is a lot of stuff there. And the kind of joke that we have is that I was always dreaming for a game company, and then out of the sudden, because of Java community being open to learn, flexible on going to events and being comfortable, being uncomfortable, so kind of being flexible on this way, that I learned and met new people, and at some point I met this person from the game company. I learned that there is an opportunity there, and then now I'm figuring out next steps on my career, because the dream that you really dream and think that you could never reach this, that it was working on a game company. I'm doing this right now, so now okay, it's kind of a confusion in your mind once you reach, because it's something that you think is so far, but once you reach, it's like, okay, what's coming next? Yeah,
what's the next step? Right. Okay, so Hugo, you have any questions for them here?
Oh man, well, I think one of the biggest challenges, at least for me, it is this is to go abroad and grow in abroad company. I think there is a lot of challenge behind that, because at least you have to to face not just your work by development, but also by working abroad. What kind of what is the tips that you can give for people that is looking with that kind of dream?
Yeah, so we have two different situations here. So let me start with Rafael, because Rafael, he really wanted to go, right? I mean, he had already planned to go to Ireland. He knew the country, he knew where he was gonna go, right? So how was that, Rafael? You had your goal set for Ireland, right? So how was for you taking this challenge of moving to another country?
Yeah, so I decided that I would go live abroad in 2010, and since then I was getting prepared. So I was doing English classes, um, and I was also getting experience as a software developer, and I was getting prepared basically. So I was studying a lot at home, and I was getting exposed a lot to English as well. I was having conversation classes, and I knew that to get a job abroad, I would have to be prepared, because the competition, I knew that it would be really, really high. So, well, I knew, okay, at that point in 2010, I knew that I wanted to go abroad. So I was preparing myself. I was studying more at home, was getting experience, and I was studying English. So, and then I was working as a software developer, and then I figured out that a friend, a colleague, got a job as a Java developer in Ireland. Then I thought, okay, why not? Maybe Ireland is a good option. It's in Europe. It's kind of aligned with what I want. And then, okay, I noticed that it was possible. Then a friend of mine, I remember that she invited me to go there for 1 month, but for some reason I couldn't get the vacation in the company I was working for. And then I decided, okay, I have to go there no matter what. And then, okay, I decided to go to Ireland because it was kind of a more accessible country. And I knew that the IT area was pretty strong there. Then I decided, okay, I'm gonna go to Ireland, and I'm gonna build my career there. And that's what I did. Then after I decided to go to Ireland, I basically I figured out the way, because I had a colleague there that did the same. She basically did uh, country exchange. So she went there to study English, and I did the same. I did the country exchange as well, and went there to study English. And then my objective was to study English for 4 months. So I had kind of an intensive course there, and I learned a lot. Then after those 4 months, I got a job there. And it helped me a lot to get a job there. The fact that I was sharing my knowledge, so that was good for me because I was learning a lot through what I was sharing, and that also opened doors to me to help in the Java user group in Dublin. And I remember that when I was going to Dublin, um, the So Java, the other Java user groups, received a message from the DubJug. Uh, at that time, I didn't even know there was a Java user group in Dublin, and they contacted our the jugs, and then I sent an email to the jug leader, and then I went there to Dublin with this contact. So that also helped me because then I started talking to him. I started talking to people there from the group, and I went there with a good networking, and they became my friends. They're my friends nowadays, and I also volunteered to work for DubJug, and I was kind of mentoring a girl from Germany to build a website, and we built a very simple website for the DubJug, but it was very good for my English because I was talking English all day. So
That's great.
that was awesome. Yeah, I wasn't getting any money, but I improved a lot my English, and I could put some experience on my CV, so that helped me. And so that was my goal after 4 months to get a job there. And then just to summarize here, to not take so much time, I was in this DubJug, and I had some contacts there. I was recommended to a first company there by a friend of mine. He was the co-lead from DubJug, and I failed 3 times in a very, I wouldn't say very simple, but quite different logic test. And it was quite frustrating because I tried 3 times. I tried one weekend, failed. The other weekend, I failed again. And the other weekend, I failed again. And I just stopped trying because the recruiter said, okay, now we can't give you any other chance. And then I said, okay, that's fine. It was frustrating to me, but anyway, I was focused and I would get the job no matter what. There wasn't such a thing like plan B. There was only the plan A. It was to get a job no matter what. And I had the mindset of, okay, I'm going to Ireland, I'm gonna burn the boats, burn the bridge. And then anyway, okay. So I failed a couple of times to get a job, and then in the DubJug, there was a person there, and this person knew me through what I was sharing on the internet. And this guy said, oh man, you're looking for a job. I know a very good company for you to start, and I can recommend you. Then I said, that's awesome. It's what I need. And then it happened. I got a job. Of course, it wasn't because of the recommendation. Of course, it helps, but it also depended on my skills. I had to pass an interview anyway, but of course, a recommendation helps, but it's not silver bullet. But anyway, that's part of my story.
That's good. All right. So I like Rafael's story because he first decided to go to Dublin, and he went there as a student, right? And then he got a job there. So that's very courageous. Now, Rodrigo has a different situation, and actually Flavia is right there. That's Rodrigo's wife right there, right? So they're both visiting here in Brazil, right? So Rodrigo, you had a different situation, right? Because you thought about moving to another country, but you never mentioned to anyone because you think it was possible, right? And you did the other process, right? Because you went with a job already, right? So can you tell us a little bit how you did that?
Well, the first part was mostly because of Bruno, because I learned how to share and how to be near to communities, so software community or anything that you're working with. So considering that you already know this because well, Bruno is always sharing about that the importance about sharing what you know and being part of a community. So was mostly this where I got my opportunity. I was in a TDC, and there is like people from Montreal there and things like this. That I got the opportunity. So I will try to. I'm using skills that Bruno gave me on how to prepare a talk in of 5 minutes in a very small amount of time.
So he actually look, he actually has a talk prepared, right? He wrote a talk here while Rafael was doing.
Yeah, Rafa was saying, I said, okay, what can I give as a like a roadmap, a quick one? It's not like a super good, as Rafa said, but how can I help? So three steps that you need to 3 steps to be ready for anywhere in the world. So this you must be before or at least during the process, not after. So the first thing is I put Saturday meeting because of the context of this talk that we're speaking now. But it's basically talking with your friends in the language of the country that you're going. So in our case was mostly English, both for Rafa and for me. We have an English country to reach. For him, is already like a plan for a long time. For me, was just out of the sudden. But I was getting ready before even knowing that I would be going. I just have okay. If I have English, it will help me any with anything. And I was actually once the opportunity was there, I was already ready with the English because I was talking with friends. The good thing about talking with friends is that you have a safe space. It's your friend, so everyone is learning on the fly everything. So if there is anything like weird, it's all good. There is no fear of anything. You can just record stuff or record talks with your friends in a private way. So what we did was doing YouTube lives, but unlisted. So everything was recorded. If we want to get a part of it, we could. But in the end, like no one is watching, so we are safe. So we could do a lot of stuff, and once in a while we did very nice stuff that we got like a little bit of there and try out in another scenario because it was the way that we were aiming for. The second one that I put here is family decision. I think this one is a very important one, especially because you're going far from your family, so you need to be open to do this. And also, if like me, I was already with my wife, so I first before even accepting anything, I was talking with my wife how open she was to go there, and she was like, I think she was more motivated than even me, but it was very nice. But be sure that your partner, whatever is involved on your situation, is open as well. Because this is very important because there you will face a lot of challenge. That is actually my third one, being open to new challenge. That is about the flexibility, open to learn that I was mentioned before in the career level, but now is on the personal level. Because well, everything is new. It's nice in the beginning because it's everything is new, but then there is simple stuff that you used to do in your country that is not that nice that you need to do everything again there. Even like simple stuff, dentist, medic, whatever, like even like medicine that you need to take, you already know everything. You ask your mom if you don't know there, figure out the best way to do so. You need to be open to talk with people, finding networks as well. So things like Rafa did on Dublin, finding a Java jug there, or even like meetups, whatever. There is a lot of stuff happening on the city. Every city there is stuff. So if you start to get in this network with these 3 steps that I mentioned, I think it's a good step that you will start to think about the situation and then evolve. It could be in 2 months, 1 year, 5 years. I think that the opportunity, like the lucky that always people say, I think is the opportunity for the ones that is prepared. So I think it's basically this.
That's awesome. So let me just kind of talk a few things here. So first of all, focus, right? You know, you gotta have a focus. Like Rafael had a focus to go, and Rodrigo wanted to do that, right? So have a focus is a great thing that you have to have. Do networking, right? So go meet people. You know, go meet the local user groups in the city. If your friends before you travel with your friends here, so you can improve in your English, your communication. You know, so you can go share your knowledge, right? It's awesome to share your knowledge, so you can get reputation in the market, and above all, be ready to face challenges, right? Because this is probably the biggest takeaway ever here. It's not easy, right? No, changing, move to another country. It's never easy. There's all kinds of challenges that you have to face. So be open and ready to do that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So guys, let me just tell one here. I know those guys here want to stay here for a long time, but we're looking at the clock here, and Rodrigo has to catch his flight. So let me just say, so thanks a lot, Rodrigo, for being here. Thanks for taking this time here in the airport. Thanks a lot, Rafael, for all these insights, man. It's great. And especially thanks to you, Hugo, for helping us out with that and making this happen. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Hugo.
Bye.
Thanks, bro. Oh, thanks. Have a nice trip. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.